Alright, so I've played a fair bit of the X0 Festival already, and so far I have exclusively used loner decks. So I think I can fairly confidently say that you can do this entire event with just the loners. You don't have to build anything. And I know that when looking at them, they could be built better. It's that classic Konami ratios. There's some there could be some deck building improvements when looking at the loner decks, but everyone's deck sucks. Okay, like there's a few competent decks that if you run into them while playing the loners, you might just have to like auto concede. But other than like the very like small minority of decks, which are like something like Flu maybe, and like a bunch of, I don't even know what's another top deck besides Flu. Maybe if you get full combo on Megalith, but most of the decks you're going to be playing against are either other loners or just some varying degrees of dog water, to where even any of these poorly made decks will definitely suffice to get you through the event. So which one do I think you should be using if you just want to play loners? So I think Shiny Sarcophagus. I think this is the best one. There's one key issue with the loners that I'll get into like near the end after I go through all of these, but I think this is the best loner. Not one because this is the easiest to play. There's only like really two combos you need to know on how to play this deck. So one of them is, if you don't first of all, you need to know that Shiny Sarcophagus is the entire deck. If you don't get access to this, or if your opponent has an out to this, then you could probably just leave at that point. Like, you're probably not gonna win, because the way Konami deck builds is that they put in a bunch of cards like this and all of these cards. None of these work if you don't control Shiny Sarcophagus. So literally, if you don't have access to this card, or your opponent outs this card with like spell trap removal, then effectively like 70% of your deck is turned off. So that's a downside, obviously. But if they don't have an out and you're allowed to play the game, then this deck is actually quite decent. I think it actually has possibly the highest ceiling out of these three loners. At the very least, the easiest to achieve, assuming you have access to Shiny Sarcophagus. So the idea is, if you don't already open Shiny Sarcophagus, or like if all you have is Shiny Sarcophagus, and then you would Shiny Sarcophagus add, Gadget Trio, or you could Gadget Trio add Shiny Sarcophagus, whichever order you have. Or like Future Silence is also another searcher. You could do Future Silence for Gadget Trio to add Shiny Sarcophagus. Or Gadget Trio will ties that bind, and then ties that bind will special Silent Magician 0 and a Silent Sorcerer 0 from deck. That way you have a spell negate and a targeting protection negate, which basically if anything targets a card that mentions Shiny Sarcophagus on it, so basically every single one of your cards in your deck, then you can negate it. So the one card combo, if you open nothing else, which is very rare in this deck because this deck runs so many goddamn Shiny Sarcophagus monsters, but if you miraculously don't have other monsters, then at the very least searching ties that bind to summon these two out gets you something. And then Shiny Sarcophagus itself is another interruption. If your opponent special summons from the grave, you can discard a spell and then send one of those monsters back to the grave. So yeah, it's like 2.5 interruptions from one card, and you have like 4 other cards in hand. It's okay, but like the bread and butter combo you want to be doing is, if you open 2 card combos, basically if you open any 2 searchers, which are Gadget Trio, Future Silence, Shiny Sarcophagus, or one of the Gandora G or the Dark Magician, any combination of these two, you get to do the 2 card combo, which is basically you special Gandora G, you can special this if you control Shiny Sarcophagus, and then you special Dark Magician. You can both of these you can special summon for free if you control Shiny Sarcophagus. Then you'll use Gandora G's effect to nuke the field, pay half your life. This will nuke the Magician of Black Chaos, and then you will summon a Gadget Trio from deck, and then Gadget Trio on summon will search your ties that bind, and then Dark Magician, because it was destroyed while you control level 5 or higher monster in field, which is Gandora G, it'll special summon itself back. You set Mirror Force, and then you can then ties that bind, summon these two out. So you get the spell negate, you get the targeting negate, you have a Mirror Force, and you have a field full. You have 5 monster in field. You have Silent Swordsman 0, Magician 0, Gandora G, Dark Magician, and a Gadget Trio, plus a Shiny Sarcophagus, plus 4 other cards in hand. Honestly, if you resolve that 2-card combo of like Andorra G nuking Dark Magician, you should actually honestly probably win the game. Like I've won every game I've resolved that combo, and it wasn't even close. So yeah, it's as long as you basically if you get to play the game, this deck is actually very competent. Now it is lacking non-engine, especially it doesn't even have imperms like the other decks. So if you go second, it's a bit more rough. If your opponent is playing a competent deck, which fortunately most of your opponents aren't going to be, so you don't have to worry. Going second is not that scary this format. And yeah, the other cards, other extraneous cards, you have the Gandor, the Giga Rays, Gandora, and the Gandora X, and then the Gold Gadget Silverhead. All of these non-starting start monsters are actually just dog shit. I don't know why they wanted to add these, like, I guess for anime theme, but like these are so bad when you actually have to use them. Like, there's often dead cards in hand. You have to be so ahead to actually have these do anything. So unfortunately, this deck runs a ton of bad cards. And then there's more Marshmallow. Honestly, this card ain't bad. Okay, I talk shit about this. This card, it protects all your monsters, so it's still fine. You know, when Giga Rays, when Ghidorah G, it doesn't usually have a lot of attack because it starts at 0 and only gains 300 per banish card. When you have more Marshmallow, your Ghidorah G is protected from battle too. So this card's actually fine. But yeah, if you want to just pick the easiest loaner and the quickest loaner for this event, pick this one. The Therion Loaner. So the Therion Loaner his deck's actually a bit more difficult to play. It has your hands are very like there's no set combos. Your hands are just dependent on what you draw, which changes a lot because you have like 6 draw cards. You have 2 trade-in, a card destruction, and then essentially Therion Chart, which is essentially another trade-in. So what you have in your hand is going to alter a lot. Just keep in mind that not a lot of people, the only Therion cards they know are Lilyboria and Regulus. But of note is that every Therion monster can use the effect of another Therion monster that it equips. So for example, like a Duke or a Reaper, if either of these have a King Regulus equipped, you can actually use Regulus's negation effect it's equipped to this. You can also use Lilyboria's effect to search if any of these are equipped with a Lilyboria. So that's important to know. It's not just Lilyboria or Regulus or Bust, okay? Like, you can feel free to send these to the grave for trade-in or for your Therion charges to just dig deeper, because you'll get these effects back when they get equipped to your other Therion monsters. And yeah, this one basically it gives all your Therion monsters protection. This one is a quick effect bounce, which is pretty nice as an interruption. Therion Alasia summons an equipped Therion, so like if you equip a Regulus, for example, you can discard a card and then summon the Regulus to the field. And this one is just spot removal. And Therion Irregular is like the big boss monster that I'm sure nobody has ever read before, but you can equip up to 3 Therion, so it can gain up to 3 different effects. So you can have a Lilyboria Search or King Regulus Negate, and then one of the other ones. Like you can have some Quick Blade Bounce as well, or a spot removal, or target or destruction protection as well. So if you can set this up, that's really great. And also this has a field nuke, so you can discard endless. You did this card, and then it just nukes the field. So that's nice. The thing is, though, sometimes you just plant your Pathfinder or Lonefire Blossom gets Ash Blossom, and then your hand doesn't really do much. You end on a Regulus Pass, which is not fantastic. But yeah, again, at least you have imperms. Although Endless, this card is not a 3 of. I really don't think you should be running 3 of this. This card only facilitates 2 card combos if you draw this in combination with other Therions, which is not ideal because you're losing card advantage, and it gets sent to the grave of this Coliseum anyways. But speaking of this Coliseum, this has other effects. It's not just a searcher; it also protects your monsters from battle, and if your monster is destroyed by battle, you can add a Therion card from your grave to your hand. So it's recycle and it's a battle protection. It's not just most people only literally use this to search Regulus and then have a negate, and that would be it. But no, this card has utility in a pure Therion deck. And then Therion Cross is either a negation or a banished, but it has to be chained to an effect activation, and it can't be used preemptively. So, yeah, you can't like use it to stop ignition effects. But yeah, this deck is just play a few test hands with this, like in like a few games with this in the event, see how it plays, and you can definitely also like do the event with this deck. It'll just be a little less linear to play than the Shiny Sarcophagus. And then third one is the Gishki one. So this one is, I think this one's the worst one, I'm gonna be honest, because the deck building I'm not a big fan of. The incantations in here, these are not my favorite parts of the deck, I'm not gonna lie. Gishki doesn't need incantations to be consistent, so like, yeah, these also like aren't even the right. They're okay. They're not useless, but I would prefer if these were like some more non-engine, because this deck is almost built really well. It's just, it has a lot of advantages when you go second, because Necromirror can sack your opponent's monster for an entire ritual summon. But the thing is, you don't want to go second with this deck because you don't have enough non-engine to actually, be comfortable going second, and you don't have any spell trap removal as well. So that's a big problem. This has no spell trap removal besides Zealgigas randomly spinning a back row when you draw a card. But if they have real back row, they're gonna stop you before you get the Zealgigas in the first place. And this deck is also really hard to play. It's like, especially if you haven't played Gishki before, it's a bit to wrap your head around. Like, a lot of these cards are like bait, Gishki Shadow, Gishki Vision, Gishki Grimness. These all say they can be used as the entire tribute for a ritual summon of a water ritual monster. The thing is, like, that's bait. You actually don't want to use that majority of the time, unless you're super desperate and you have no other plays. But most of the time when you ritual summon, you want a ritual summon tributing a Gishki monster, a Gishki ritual monster in your hand, and not one of these, because Aquamirror has an effect where you can shuffle this to the deck and add a ritual monster from your grave to your hand. So if you use a ritual monster to ritual summon, you get to replenish the cost with Aquamirror. Whereas if you use one of these little shits to ritual summon, you don't get anything back, and you just minus really heavily. So yeah, it's ideally, you get 2 ritual monsters in hand and then 1 ritual spell, and then if you do that, then you can start cycling. And you usually never mind when special summon. This is a monster negate, but when the special summon you want to revive, you get to revive a water monster in your graveyard. Most of the time you want to revive Gishki Abyss. Now the other issue of this deck is there's no link monsters. So how are you getting this to the grave after you normal summon it, right? That's a good question. I've yet to figure out a good way to do that. So because there's no easy way to put this put the Gishki Abyss in the grave, or the Gishki Grimness and the Abyss into the grave to be revived with Neramanus, it's actually like that makes the deck so much less explosive, because the best play you have is Neramanus reviving this, because Gishki Abyss is just a Stratos that's not once per turn. But in order to revive it from the grave, it has to go to the grave first. So you have to like either overcost ritual tribute this to get in the grave, which is inefficient, so you're like losing the card advantage that you would gain from this in the first place. But yeah, I've played a few games with this. Some of the games I've literally just opened not playable at all, and some of the games were okay, mainly because my opponent's deck was not that good either, so I ended on barely anything or like nothing at all, but I was still able to live because my opponent's deck was so bad. But yeah, you'll see in the gameplay what I mean by this. But I mean, if you're a fan of Gishki, well, you should probably if you are, you probably have your own Gishki deck, so you don't need to play this dogshit build. But yeah, if you want to try this out, go for it. I just don't have expectations high for this one, at least compared to these two. I think these two are more competent than the Gishki one. That being said, the one big issue with all of these loaners is that you lack spell and trap removal, all of them, okay? There are some, this monster effects that can, if you get your combo going, you can destroy spell and traps with your monsters, like Therion Irregular or Bull and Bull. I don't know what the last one is, but the issue is you don't have any like actual direct spell trap removal. And one issue is obviously if you play against a deck that's very back row heavy, like True Draco or like even Flu, honestly, because you just have to eat the map, which it's not ideal, or like Eldritch, or a Shining Sarcophagus Mirror, then you have very little ways to like actually play through their back row, which is a big problem. Like those back row decks are a big problem for the decks. Shining Sarcophagus is a terrible matchup for Loaners because this card cannot be destroyed by monster effects. So you can't even destroy this with your monsters, which means that none of these decks have an out to actually destroy the Shining Sarcophagus. So if you go second versus Shining Sarcophagus and they have this, then you can't do anything about it. Which is like in the mirror match, with the Loaner deck, mirror match is literally whoever goes first. Usually, and to establish Shining Sarcophagus first wins the game. So yeah, that's unfortunate. The spell trap move is very important in this format, but none of the Loaners give you any of them. So if you play a bad matchup that requires that, then yeah, it's gonna be rough. But at the same time, right? I mean, look at here, okay? I played 10 games. I went 8-2 with just Loaner decks. You'll probably be fine, okay? So yeah, I'll show you how the Loaner decks are well, not supposed to be played. Like, I know I'm not going to play them perfectly, but I give you an idea on how they're supposed to be played. So first we're starting with the Shining Sarcophagus Loaner, and this is basically the best combo in the deck. So we opened Shining Sarc, and we opened Dark Magician. So Shining Sarc was going to add the second piece of the combo, which is Gandora G. You special Gandora G, nice animation, and then you special summon Dark Magician. No animation, LOL. So you're gonna nuke the Dark Magician, special summon the Gadget Trio, and then the Dark Magician's gonna trigger the summon itself back. And then the Gadget Trio, because we already have a Ties That Bind, Gadget Trio is you're gonna set Dark Magic Mirror Force with the Dark Magician, and Gadget Trio adds a turn silence, and then you set it. And then you activate Ties That Bind, summon both silence monsters from your deck, and end on this. So this is the best end board you can end on in this deck. You have Spell Negate. These should be an attack, by the way. I forgot that these also gain attack per level, and they increase level by a lot during the turn. So you're gonna see that. But yeah, you have a Spell Negate, Target Negate. Essentially, you have a Monster Negate. You make a face of monster you control, increase level by 3, and then if you use this in response to an opponent's monster activation, you negate that effect, not the activation. Importantly, you negate the effect, so that's really good. And it doesn't specify on the field either, so it negates anything. And then you have Dark Magic Mirror Force, which is gonna protect your zero attack Gandora and stuff from, attacks. And also, if they activate a monster effect I would destroy, you also get to nuke their field as well. So the main thing is this is like 3 to 4 disruptions, but also your board is really sticky because most decks are not going to be able to break through this board. And if you don't break through this board, let's just follow up Gandora G nuking the field again, special something another Gadget Trio is follow up the Dark Magician. Every time it gets nuked, it just comes back. So you also have another Ties That Bind that we can use as a destruction with Shining Sarcophagus. So yeah, this is really nice. And then yeah, here's where you notice the whoops, they should be in attack mode. So my opponent's on Witchcrafter, which is based. So they're gonna go Witchcrafter 1, and then banish itself. Draw a card, discard another. Open double Pitore, that's funny. Shmieta, go pitch creation, go Genny, pitch another draping, go into Heine, send Spy Street, and then this may look weird, but like Witchcrafter always adds all 4 of these spells return to their hand. So here I negate this. I should have negated Buy Street. Like if I negated Buy Street, the game would have been over on the spot. But yeah, I just negated the first one I see because I wanted to make use of the Magician Zero regardless. So yeah, the Holiday goes back to their hand, and then the Draping goes back to their hand, which they can't use, and then the Street gets activated. And now here's the thing: Witchcrafter is Shining Sarc versus Witchcrafter is like an 80-20 matchup. This is a terrible matchup for Witchcrafter because their cards, they don't have an Alpha Shining Sarcophagus in their engine because Shining Sarcophagus cannot be destroyed by monster effects, so the Heine cannot out it. So, and this Heine also targets, which means that we have Silent Swordsman 0, which means that basically the Heine does absolutely nothing. So, yeah, that's one half of their boss monsters. So, the fact that one of their main win cons literally does nothing against your deck makes this matchup so in your favor right now. And here, Now it just gains more attack. Shiny Sarcophagus, I'll add an Advent, but I'm just gonna enter battle phase and attack over everything, and like they literally can't do anything. Like, so yeah, that's the board you're trying to achieve, and that's you're probably gonna win if you do achieve that board most of the time. Alright, so here's a game where we're going second, and we drew one of our 3 hand traps, thank god. Because our opponent's actually playing a pretty scary deck. They're playing Infernoid. So we're gonna go Void, Reignition, and discard our whole hand. Now, I should have asked this, honestly, because my logic was you hold the Ash for Reasoning or Monster Gate, but if they lead with Void Reignition, it means they don't have Reason or Monster Gate. Because if they did, they would have used it first and not discarded it. But yeah, instead, if I just Ashed this, their turn would have been over completely. But as you see, I just Ashed the Reasoning instead, and they thankfully didn't draw another Reasoning, so their turn still kind of ends. Like they go Saitama's Pass, which is like Graveyard Disruption right now, without being set up, doesn't really do much against me. So here, unfortunately, I Sign Magician 0. This is like the one time I wish we drew the Sign Swordsman 0 instead, because the targeting protection is actually good for playing through hand traps, whereas this Spell Negation is a better piece of your end board, but it doesn't help as much playing through Disruption, as you'll see. So I'm going to use Shiny Sarc, and we're going to add the Dark Magician because we opened the Gandora G and Dark Magician, and their opponent's going to troll us, which, honestly, I don't care. Like, the troll is going to stop one search, but it doesn't stop me from doing the entire board. So I hold the call by, especially these two. And I'm going to use Gandora G, and unfortunately he gets hit by the Imperm, so yeah, I don't get to nuke the field, I don't get to resolve the combo, which if I did, again, we would have won on the spot. And so I'm just going to normal summon Sign Magician 0 just to get the Spell Negate up still. So we still have a Spell Negate and we have a Called By, and we have a more Marshmallow. This card is clutch. You'll see. So our opponent goes Antra, bounce the Sign Magician 0 back to hand, and gonna go Void to put these two back, and then I'm gonna call by the Saitama's because they also have one on field, which is funny. So I negate the Saitama's on field as well. They're gonna enter battle phase. I'm gonna go more Marshmallow, and now you can't attack more of my Gandora G. So yeah, more Marshmallow plus Gandora G is like actually deceptively hard to get over because you can't run over this by battle. And if this lives, you lose because look what happens. So pass back to my turn, Gandora G, pay another 2k, our opponent's gonna sack. They're gonna tribute both of them because they're gonna lose them anyways. But like, again, I have nothing important, like Graveyard Disruption doesn't really do much to me right now. Or like if I'm not even sure Graveyard Disruption is good against Chinese Sarcophagus, like in general, because all these just get banished. Then you summon Gata Trio, the Marshmallow triggers, and then the Dark Magician triggers, so I'm gonna have a full field again. And yeah, so Dark Magician summons itself, and then set Dark Magic Mirror Force, the more Marshmallow, yeah, and yeah, they leave. So yeah, every single time you resolve the Gandora G combo thing, it's like such a blow most of the time. Like it's great. And this deck, as you can see, it's not that hard to play. So like even if you're picking up this deck for the first time, like you should be able to pick it up like after one game and like do well with it. So now on to the Therion Loaner, and this was a good ass game, even though I'm pretty sure I misplayed this to hell. But yeah, I'm gonna normal summon Planet Pathfinder, add Disco, activate Disco, and here I add Lily Borea right now because I want to get the Little Borea search effect. So I have another Therion in hand already, so I'm guaranteed to do that. I could have possibly, because I already have Cross, I already have my main search target for the Lily Borea, and I have Disco, so it's like maybe there's an argument I should have just added a Regulus, trade in the Regulus, Reaper equip Regulus, and I have to Omni Negate too, so that was probably better. Yeah, that was a misplay. So I trade in the Lily Borea, get another Pathfinder, and a third triple. Oh baby, a triple, by the way. Like I did not intend on this, but yeah, now I don't since I didn't draw another Therion monster, I have to go Foom for Lily Borea, and I send one of the Therion crosses to add a Therion charge, and then I activate charge, send the Lily Borea to draw another 2 cards, and I didn't. And I unfortunately did not draw a Regulus, so I am gonna use Alice, and then this was a misplay. This is definitely a misplay. I discarded Pathfinder and summoned the reading, by the way. So Therion Reaper only is a first of all, they should be in defense. Like that, I messed up my position so much. Like I had the higher attack monster in defense and the higher defense monster in attack so often with this deck because like it changes based on equips, and this only returns a Therion card in the spell and trap zone as a quick effect. So I should have just kept the Lily Borea on here, and then I would have another interruption. Instead, I just lost interruption on this. So do I get punished for this? Quite severely, because my opponent's playing Ancient Gear, and this is a competent go second deck. So they're gonna catapult away the Gear Town, which is scary, and they get the Ancient Dark Golem, and then Dark Golem and Gear Town is gonna trigger and doesn't miss timing because it's new Ancient Gear cards they learned. They're gonna add Commander, discard Commander, and here I'm gonna. They're gonna set Ancient Gear. I don't know why I didn't negate the Commander. I probably should have negated the Commander because like if they're using this to set Ancient Gear, like set a card, obviously it's gonna be Ancient Gear Duel. So yeah, that means this Ancient Gear Golem is now unaffected. So that's unfortunate. They're gonna enter battle phase, and here's where Disco Coliseum comes in clutch. So they're gonna attack over that, and then they're going to use Gear Reactor, and here I'm gonna use this Coliseum to revive the Foom as another body, or I'm gonna add the Foom back to hand. Sorry, it adds back to hand. They're gonna pop my Therion Cross, then they're gonna attack my Lily Borea, and here I'm gonna use this Coliseum to protect it by sending Argios, and now they're gonna pop this Coliseum, and now they're gonna attack over the what is even this card's name? Alasia, or whatever. And now pass back to me. Fortunately, they don't end on any interruption, so good thing that the Therion Field Spell protects us from battle, so we were able to live that. And now I'm gonna use Foom, equip the Alasia, use Foom, pitch Lily Borea, summon the Alasia, and then use board Lily Borea, send the Yubel for the Duke for this Coliseum, add Therion Irregular. I want to I want to get rid of their board, so I have to go Irregular to equip 2. Unfortunately, I couldn't equip the third one. Then Argios, send the Therion Cross back to the deck so I can add it back to hand, and use Irregular to pitch the Argios to nuke their field, and then enter battle phase, attack over, crash into the Ancient Golem, protect myself, and then yeah, attack for almost game but not exact. And again, this is still a misplay because where the hell is my Regulus? Okay, how do you play 2 turns of Therion and not get a Regulus anywhere in rotation? Like come on, dude. There's definitely a way to do that. Like there must have been a way to do that. Like I know I sent the Argio off this Coliseum last turn, but like maybe you could. Yeah, I don't know. This. Yeah. Anyways, I think this is enough though because my opponent is down to 2 cards and I have 2 interruptions. Right? Does it make sense? Right? Then they top deck Master Reborn to revive the Ancient Gear Golem, which is not great. And then I realized that they also have a reinforcing grave. So I'm going to negate the Ancient Gear Golem with Therion Cross because I don't want them to add 2 cards to their hand. Like that's a no-no. But here comes a Ruin Force, and now before battle phase I have to bounce it because Ruin Force negates effects in the battle phase, which means I wouldn't be able to bounce anymore once they enter the battle phase. Here's the unfortunate part. They also drew a Talents. Yeah. And they're gonna draw 2, and they're gonna draw Ancient Gear Statue plus Urgent Schedule off that. Like this is literally the 2 best draws in your deck. Urgent Schedule, Ancient Gear Statue. Like what the hell is this? So yeah, they're gonna get the Machina Fortress now, and then the Catapult, pop the Fortress to get a token, then Fortress pitch the Ruin Force again to get the Fortress. And then they're gonna use Ancient Gear Statue to get Tanker. Tanker is gonna pop the Ancient Gear Golem, so now they can summon back the Ruin Force. And fortunately, thanks to the field spell, I still live. So they're gonna Ruin Force attack over this, and then I used this Coliseum, which I shouldn't have because Ruin Force has an effect. So they're gonna have their life points to have my life points, and then negate this Coliseum. At the very least, I can prevent my Elijah from dying by sending the Therion Regulus. So at the very least, we were able to survive 2 turns against Ancient Gear. I don't know if. I know for sure I misplayed. I don't know if they misplayed, but yeah. Here's the thing though, because now because Therion Regular stays in the field, we can just keep adding back the Argio system and then keep nuking the field with the Therion Irregular. So bye. Yeah. Yeah, it shows this deck is good even when you don't play optimally, but ideally you would want to sequence your plays better than how I did. So, alright, so the sequencing last game was not ideal. The sequencing this game, I feel like it's even worse because, first of all, double Pathfinder's Colosseum. Thank you for opening. Literally, I essentially just opened all 3 field spells this game. So nice. I'm gonna normal Pathfinder effect gets ashed. Psych. Joke's on you. Like you thought this was important. No, I had 2 more copies of this in my hand. One of them being this Colosseum. Now, unfortunately, this hand doesn't do anything because I don't have other Therion monsters in grave. I don't have a draw spell, so the only thing I can do is Regulus, equip the Pathfinder, and then set cross. So this is like 2 negates, which is honestly this ain't bad. Imperm, Therion cross, Regulus, plus I have guaranteed follow-up because I have a fucking Pathfinder in hand for another Disc Colosseum. So yeah, our opponent's on Shining Stark, which is a real not what I want to see. So I'm going to negate the Shining Stark, even though that's really annoying because the Shining Stark can just be used every turn, which means that they're gonna outvalue my negates on it. Thankfully that ends their turn. They didn't open a Dark Magician or a Gendor or D. That would have been terrible. But yeah, I draw a Lily Borea, so I'm gonna activate Pathfinder again. Pathfinder. I had the second Disc Colosseum, activate Disc Colosseum, and then they're going to Silent Magician 0 and try to negate that, but I have the Imperm, so thank God. And now I'm going to add the Regulus, and I'm going to summon Regulus by equipping the Pathfinder so that I have a negate up for their 1 back row. And now I'll summon the Lily Borea, commit to the Lily Borea, summon the Regulus, and then they're going to Valor the Lily Borea. I try to enter battle phase, so I'm going to negate it with Regulus, setting the Regulus equipped to the Lily Borea. And then I'm going to use Lily Borea, send the Planet Pathfinder to add the... This is a misplay. Okay, like, this is a... What the hell is this card? Like, I read this card and I'm like, send 1 Therion card from your hand or your face-up spell and trap zone. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to send the field spell. Wait, this doesn't count as the spell on trap zone. This counts as the field spell zone. So I actually cannot. You're actually not allowed to send the field spell for Therion charge, which was what I thought you were allowed to do. My bad. My bad. Therion noob here. Whoopsie. So we're gonna attack in their battle phase because I just added a useless damn card. At the very least, I can add the Regulus back to my hand and then attack over, and then attack with the Lily Borea. And now I can activate the Therion charge because I added the Regulus back to my hand, and then I draw Ash frustrated. So it would have been nice to have the Regulus in hand, you know, so that I could trade it in when I drew it, but well, whatever. So I just have a negate and a Therion cross and a Regulus negate. So this is actually 3 interruptions, so it's actually not bad. And they're going to call by my Ash, to which I'm going to Regulus, send the Regulus to negate the called by. And now they have 1 card in hand to try to play the game. So hopefully they can't, which thankfully they can. And now this is over because they're at 38 life. And third Pathfinder, by the way, I drew 4 field spells this game. Okay, I drew Pathfinder. I drew triple Pathfinder plus this Colosseum. I have never resolved triple Pathfinder in the game. I don't think anybody's resolved triple Pathfinder in a single game. So this is a first. This is a Master Duel first. And yeah, I'm gonna just get Irregular. Irregular gonna equip double Regulus, so I have double negates for the 1 back row. And yeah, we beat a constructed Shiny Sarcophagus deck because they drew no starters besides the Shiny Sarcophagus. So now we finally move on to the Gishki Loaner. So this hand, again, I didn't open the starter. I didn't open one of my 9 normal summons, which is really unfortunate. No Tuneful Princess, no Grimness, no Abyss. So yeah, this hand does not do anything. And I'm gonna use Gishki Shadow as a bait. You know, hopefully they ash this, because this Gishki Shadow, it's not gonna help me at all, because I have 2 ritual spells in hand, which I only have 1 ritual monster. I can only ritual summon once anyway. So thank you for using your ash on the Gishki Shadow. Now I'm going to use Talismandra to summon out the Candle. The Candle is going to add the Aquamirror anyways, and this is all I can do. Okay, I'm going to Aquamirror sack the Talismandra to summon the Gust Kraken. And I'm going to look at 2 cards in their hand. Rebellion plus Regain. Wow, very nice 2 cards to reveal. So I guess I put back the Rebellion and I send it Impermanent. That's it. That's it. even if they didn't activate, this is all I could have done. This deck is great. The Savage is also not live, because I didn't open any of my engine. Hell yeah. And then they're going to activate Regain, and then they're going to activate Nightmare Throne, which is a lot less scary this event without the Yubel, Phantom Yubel. They're going to normal summon the Samsara Delos, which I'm going to imperm. Thank God. But the one card that did anything was a non-Gishki card. But yeah, now I'm going to draw Focus Aquamirror. This was a fantastic draw. This was literally the best draw in my deck. So we're going to focus Aquamirror at the Grimness. Go Grimness, get the Abyss, get Vision, and here's where the looping starts. So Vision adds Neramanus, and I'm going to use Salvage to add back the Shadow plus the Vision, and then I'm going to discard Shadow for another Aquamirror, and then use Vision to add level 10 Zealgigas, so like a second level 10 ritual. And here, this is really ugly. So remember what I said about how the hell do you get Gishki Abyss in the grave? So one of them ways to get Gishki Abyss in the grave is to sack 3 monsters for 1 ritual summon, which I know this looks sus, like literally you're going so minus on this, but this is the best play, because that's the only way I could have used Neramanus to revive the Gishki Abyss. It's actually so bad without Link monsters being able to put this in the grave for free. So yeah, now that we went -3 on that ritual summon, I can use Neramanus finally to revive back the Gishki Abyss, and here they're gonna ogre me. I'm contemplating. I don't even think the ogre really mattered here, but I'm just gonna negate it anyways, just so I have the Neramanus back in hand, so I can ritual summon it again if I wanted to. And yeah, here comes the Abyss. The Abyss is gonna add a Shadow, and I'm gonna use Shadow to add another Aquamirror. And here I'm gonna use Aquamirror to sack the Zealgigas to summon the Neramanus again. And here the problem is that now the Abyss is on the field, I can't revive the Abyss again. Again, would have been nice to link this off, but I can't. So all I can do is revive the biggest monster in my grave, which is a Witchcrafter, and just beat face. Hopefully, if they have the Spirit of Yubel, it doesn't matter because I have the monster gate anyways. And then Aquamirror, I'll just add the Zealgigas back to hand because I don't mind. I would want to draw actually the Aquamirror anyways, but enter battle attack. Can't OTK, which is fine in this event because it's not that fast phase, so you can give your opponent an extra charge and be okay. And because we open Focus Aquamirror, end phase Focus Aquamirror match itself to set the Aquamirror illusion, so this is really nice. This essentially gives me 2 monster negates, because how this works is you're gonna negate one of Neramanus. Neramanus goes back to hand, then you can immediately summon out the Neramanus again using the Aquamirror illusion. So you get 2 monster negates out of this, and my opponent has 2 cards in hand. So this is really nice. And they're going to activate King Sark, which is one of the cards that I can't negate, which is unfortunate. So now they can just summon their Horus monster and attack into my Neramanus out of it. But that's their only play. So yeah, they're gonna lose because they were gonna lose anyways, because I could at least Zealgigas, summon out the Aquamirror, try to do something with it. But the fact that I drew Tuneful Princess just seals the games, because I'm gonna use Aquamirror to add back Neramanus. Like, even if I didn't draw this, I could use Illusion, summon the Neramanus. Wait, no, actually no, I actually needed to draw a starter. Wow, this deck is so good. Holy shit, man. I needed to draw an actual starter to win this game. But man, wow, okay. That was a lucky draw then. So I'm gonna get Abyss, get Shadow. This is very simple. Shadow, get Necromirror, sack my opponent's monster, summon the Zealgigas, and just here's a play that I show off where you're allowed to stack your deck with the Necromirror. Necromirror stacks a Shadow on top, and then use Zealgigas to draw into the Shadow. So that's a guaranteed Zealgigas spin if you ever need to. That's a good trick to know with this deck. That's how you guarantee you hit with the Zealgigas. It only works one time because of the Necromirror, but one guaranteed hit spin is better than none, right? Alright, so this game, our opponent won the coin flip and chose to go second. They're a blind second deck, and these hands are so good. Like, if this hand might do something. I don't even think this hand does something if I get to fully resolve it, but it doesn't resolve because I normal summon Gishki Abyss and it gets Infirm, and now I literally can't do anything. Like, I cannot ritual summon. I physically am not capable of ritual summon. This deck is so good. But yeah, now I'm gonna, at the very least, I hard drew the Aquamirror illusion. Okay, this is like the one time hard drawing the Aquamirror illusion is good because I can just add the Neramanus to hand and then use the Aquamirror illusion to summon this on my opponent's turn. So I have a total of 1 interruption. Can my opponent's blind second that kill me through 1 interruption? And yeah, they're gonna Duster this, so that forces the Aquamirror illusion out already. And then yeah, the Neremonis comes out. So I have 1 monster negate, and they're gonna do Tanky into Ancient Warriors based. They're gonna summon Lil Swan, and then I'm gonna negate it, and they're gonna Droplet, send the second Sunmo. So they discarded 1 Sunmo for Lil Swan, and then they discarded the second one for Droplet, and now they're gonna summon the 3rd Sunmo from deck. All 3 in 1 turn. Kind of Pathfinder 2.0, and then they're gonna add the Lubu, and then Lubu, you know, it's not good because they have a quick effect pop, but they don't kill me. So the decks in this event are just too good. They could not kill me through 1 interruption through a Forbidden Droplets. Maybe there was a line they could have done better, but yeah, all they have is 1 monster prop, which this does nothing against Gishki. So I'm gonna show you why it does nothing. So I'm gonna normal summon the second Abyss in hand, and this is loops, brother. This is ideally how you want to play the deck. So we're gonna use Gishki Vision to add Neremonis, and then we're gonna use Gishki Shadow to add Necromirror, and then they're gonna just trigger their Lubu directly because it doesn't target. So if they don't use this, I'm just gonna sack it. And now they're gonna pop my Abyss, and then here I sack the Sunmo because I have a plan. Okay, so this card has a text where once per turn during the end phase, if your opponent controls a monster with the highest attack, give control of this card to your opponent. I'm currently have the highest attack on field, so if I don't kill my opponent, your monster is mine. Yoink. So yeah, Neremonis now is gonna revive the Gishki Abyss. Thank you. That was actually, they shouldn't have popped my Gishki Abyss, by the way. That was actually a mistake because now it puts it in the grave for free. So now I have 2 Abyss that I can just revive with Neremonis, which is not a once per turn revival, by the way. So they just gave me a free resource. And yeah, Zealgigas comes out. I'm going to use Zealgigas now. Sack Neremonis for the Zealgigas. And here I'm going to use the Necromirror stack. Well, first I'm going to Aquamirror, add the Neremonis back to hand, and then I'm going to Necromirror stack the Shadow on top. Then use Zealgigas. Guarantee draw the Shadow, spin back the Tanky because I want to keep this on field. Use Shadow, add another Aquamirror. Use Aquamirror, summon Neremonis. Neremonis now, because the Zealgigas was ritual summoned properly, you can revive the Zealgigas. And then the Zealgigas, I'm going to use this effect again, see if I hit anything. I hit an Aquamirror, so it doesn't spin, but now I use Aquamirror to put itself back to add another Neremonis, and now I'm going to sack the Zealgigas again, special summon the second Neremonis, and then Neremonis summon back the Zealgigas. And yeah, that was going to be over. I wasn't going to attack, by the way. They were going to be at 8k life points, and I was going to be at 500, but I was going to have double Monster Negate, plus I was going to steal their Lubu. So, yeah, that's how ideally you want to play this deck, like how to loop the resources and when you ritual summon, just using the Aquamirror to sack your own ritual so you can continue to add them back from the grave, and then, you know, go from there. But yeah, as you can see, that took a turn to get the going. Like I couldn't do a turn 1. I had to wait until turn 3 before I could even do the full combo. So yeah, that's kind of an issue with this deck. This deck takes way too long to get going, even in this event. But at the very least, you have more time in this event. Like if you don't do anything for a turn, you're not guaranteed to lose, as opposed to, you know, other events or other formats. So yeah, one thing I didn't expect was that I'm actually somewhat enjoying the games in this event because of the lower power level. This is actually probably the closest event that we've had to NR, because all of your decks are quite honestly not that good. So when 2 bad decks or 2 mediocre decks play against each other, that makes for the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you're neither person is getting steamrolled. Because if you if you don't have full combo for 1 turn, you don't auto lose. You know, you have actual turns to play this game. You have multiple turns to, you know, play out of it. So yeah, and that includes these loaners. Even though these loaners are perfectly fine to be able to do this event and also enjoy the event, as long as you're not playing against. There's like a few decks again where if you play against them, like Flu or like Megalith going second, that you will, like, they are like at a higher power level than you are, so then you will notice the difference, and then you might not really have a chance against them. But majority of decks, majority of games, I are actually pretty decent this event. And yeah, but if you don't want to play the loners, if you want to play more constructed, better, better decks that give you a better chance of winning, go check out the other 2 videos I made on this event about other good decks and budget decks that aren't the loner that you could play for this event. So yeah, thanks for watching.